Good morning. It's probably not even morning actually, it's probably closer to midday. But it's still Monday and it's still amusing. Still having a Monday morning musings for you, Monday musings nonetheless. I am here pretty much just sitting with no pants on. I've got underwear on, chill out. Just sitting in my bed for this morning because I have had a massive week. Massive week last week. And haven't had much opportunity to have like big beautiful sleep-ins, days in bed, all that kind of stuff. And so I'm taking today's opportunity to just chill out. I've had a big long sleep-in, which is delightful. And yeah, I'm just chilling out. But yesterday I had this big like ego flare moment where my ego just decided to just go bananas about what's happening, a specific thing that's happening down in my old hometown of Melbourne, Victoria. So for those of you who don't know, I lived in Melbourne for 10 years and I only left in October of last year. So to see what's happening down there with all the people that I love, a whole bunch of people that I care for so very deeply, plus all the people that I don't know. It was my hometown for 10 years. And, you know, there was a specific piece of the restrictions that got my ego going in banana mode yesterday. And what that was around, you guys have a curfew. For those of you who don't know, in Victoria there is a curfew that you cannot be out past 8 p.m. and not before 5 a.m. And you're not allowed to go within any further than 5 kilometres from your home. And the only time you're allowed to go out is to get groceries for 1 hour, to exercise for 1 hour, and if there's any urgent health appointments, right? So that's the current standing of what's happening in Victoria. And as I was reading through, because I'm compassionate about what's happening down there for my loved ones and for those in general, I decided to have a look, and I read at the exemptions of that, and the exemptions that make me just my blood boil is that if you are in a relationship, if you have a romantic partner, then it is completely okay for you to travel anywhere across the state. It doesn't matter where you travel. You can go over the 5 kilometre radius, and you're allowed to travel after 8 p.m. and before 5 a.m. The curfew rules and the and the distant rules do not apply to you if you are in a romantic relationship. If you are going to visit someone that you are a couple with, and I do that really loosely because what does that even mean? But you're allowed to. You're allowed to go wherever you want. And it just got me really infuriated about how our world is completely biased against people who are unpartnered. They use the word single, by the way. I do not. I will always be single, irrelevant of when I'm in a relationship or not. And for the record, I'm in a relationship. That person happens to live in Victoria. So we certainly can't see each other at this point in time. But it gets me so furious because I will always be single. I am partnered at the moment and I'm single because there is just me in my world. There is just me. It's not from a selfish perspective. For me, I was born alone and I will die alone, and I spend every moment of my life with me. Nobody spends that kind of amount of time with me, and my most important relationship is the one that I have with myself. Yet, here's the world where a government blatantly is biased against people who are not in romantic relationships. How is it that people who are single, people who are unpartnered, their relationships are less important than those of somebody who may have only just met? Or perhaps maybe they've been together with somebody for 10 years, but why on earth is somebody's sexual or romantic relationship any more important than the one that you have with your brother? The one that you have with your best friend? Why is it that the sexual or romantic relationship is any more important? It just goes to show what's happening, the way in which our society puts more value on certain relationships over other ones. And that if you are single or if you are unpartnered, then there is something almost wrong with you. Like, oh, they haven't met anybody yet. Or when are you going to meet somebody? It's such a load of crap. We put all this pressure on people to meet somebody and to be in a relationship that it doesn't even seem to matter if you are unhappy in that relationship. It doesn't even seem to matter if the relationship isn't working for you, or if it's toxic, or if it's abusive. At least they've got somebody. Crap. I have people. They're beautiful and I love them and they are called my friends and my family. So a huge shout out to all my single people in Victoria, because Victorians in general, you're about to go, you're in a tough time that's happening. But even more so for my single Victorian people, because now what? Now you're not allowed to go visit your support network, but those people who happen to have a sexual relationship can. I think that there's a global bias that happens here, and this is just a micro example of that global bias. That somehow people who are in a couple are more important, they're more valuable, they're more likely to get mortgages, they're more likely to get a rental property, they are more likely to get benefits in the world than people who are single. I challenge you on this. Question your biases here. If you're in a relationship, a romantic relationship, if you are somebody who is partnered, where's the couple privilege for you? And I was in a relationship, a romantic relationship, live-in with someone of the opposite gender for 10 years. I understand couple privilege. You get to do stuff that you just don't get to do when you're single. And I appreciate that you get to do stuff differently when you're single, but the society is built around, you feel like you've made it when you're in a relationship. And if you're single, then, oh my God, I have to start again. No, you don't. You don't have to start again. I left that relationship. I walked away from that relationship after 10 years to go be alone. Because I'm always alone. It's always me. It is always us. Please, I really encourage you to have a look at, if you are so afraid of being alone that you're more likely to be in a relationship, simply because you're afraid of being alone, I think it's even more reason for you to be alone. Find the insecurities, find the parts of yourself that you aren't willing to face. Because you are with you till the day that you die. You are with you since the day you were born. The relationship you have with you ought to be our most priority, yet we live in a society that it's not. Prioritize you. Prioritize being with yourself. Because I can see very clearly that by my very existence that I am a rebellious act. My very existence seems to be a rebellious act because I'm somebody who would actively choose to be single over actually staying with somebody that I wasn't happy with. Because they were a good person. They were in a good situation. You had it good. It was okay. Oh my God, no, you deserve happiness and joy and love, and you deserve to have big, expansive, wonderful, amazing love. Do not be in relationships just for the sake of the security of it. It's crap. You deserve so much more than that. So much more than that. Somebody isn't going to be the missing piece to your puzzle. You are the missing piece of your puzzle. And having beautiful romantic relationships is a wonderful thing. But they are to be on top of what you already have within yourself. Whole and complete within you. Find somebody who is also working on being their whole and completeness, and then you guys can come together. It's also, deletes that there are a whole bunch of other relationship modalities that are out there. There are people who have something called polyamory. It means that you date multiple people at the same time, ethically, with everybody knowing. How does it feel for those people? Because we are so certainly trapped by this ideology, and we see it in Hollywood all the time, that you find the person of your dreams and you live happily ever after. It's a load of nonsense, and we need to start looking at this relationship internally and to be able to prioritize relationships outside of us as well. To go, you know what, friendships are freaking important. Very often our friends and our family are there before the relationship and they're there afterwards. Yet for some reason the relationship itself is appearing to be more important. I just think it's crap, and it's time to make a change with it. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts? Are you challenged by me challenging your couple privilege? Are you sitting there going, well, no, romantic relationships are more important than platonic relationships? This is just my opinion. What are yours? I'd love to know. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this kind of ideology that suggests that romantic relationships are more important than any other ones. I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know. Leave something in the comments.